So let's talk about how to solve two-step equations. Now, when you're normally trying to solve an equation, you use the order of operations. So you'll remember that first you do parentheses, then you do exponents, then you multiply or divide, and then you add or subtract. Well, to solve equations, we're going to work backwards. So I'm going to start with adding or subtracting, then I'll multiply or divide, and then I would do exponents and parentheses. Now, for the problems that you're working with right now, we really are not going to use exponents or parentheses. We're going to focus on the adding or subtracting, and then we're going to multiply or divide. So let's get into some examples. So here's an equation, 4x plus 7 equals 27. And we need to solve to find what x is equal to. So what I like to do is I like to draw a line down the equal sign because that shows me the two sides of the equations. And I said before that we're going to start with adding or subtracting. Well, right now I see that I'm adding 7. So to get rid of that adding 7, I want to do the opposite. And the opposite of adding is subtracting 7. And if I do it to one side of the equation, I have to do it to the other side of the equation as well. So my line here is like my mirror. I can see that I subtracted 7 on the left and I subtracted 7 on the right. 7 minus 7 is 0. And then 27 minus 7 is 20. Now on the left side, I still have that 4x, so I'm going to bring it down, put my equal sign in the middle, and I need to finish getting x by itself. Right now, this says 4 times x, and the opposite of timesing by 4 is dividing by 4. So I'm going to divide both sides by 4. 4 divided by 4 is 1, so I'm left with x equals, and then 20 divided by 4 is 5. So x is equal to 5. Now I could plug that back in and do like a quick check. I'm going to check that 4 times 5 plus 7 does actually equal 27. 4 times 5 is 20, and then 20 plus 7 would in fact give me 27. So I know that my answer is correct. So let's do another example. Here's the equation, 3x minus 4 equals 29. So again, I'm going to start with drawing a line down the middle of my equal sign and start with adding or subtracting. Right now, I'm subtracting 4, and the opposite of subtracting 4 is adding 4. So I'm going to add 4 to both sides. Now, remember from a couple weeks ago, we talked about positives and negatives and how they're opposite. So if I have a negative 4 and then I have a positive 4, they make 0. Or it's like if I lost $4, but then I found $4, I'm back at having the same amount that I had before. So I have 3x left on the left equals, and then I'm going to add my 29 and 4. 9 plus 4 is 13. Carry the 1. 2 plus 1 is 3. So 3x equals 33. And now I multiply or divide. Right now this says 3 times x, so I'm going to divide by 3 to undo the multiplying by 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1, so I'm left with x equals 33 divided by 3 is 11. And again, I could do a quick check just to double check that my answer is in fact correct. 3 times, instead of x, I know x is 11, minus 4 equals 29. Let's find out. 3 times 11 is 33. Minus 4 equals 29. I'm going to count backwards. 33, 32, 31, 30, 29. Yes, it is. So 29 33 minus 4 is in fact 29. And so I know my answer is correct. Now let's do a couple that involve some, that start with division. So, here's the problem. X divided by 5. So remember that when something is written over a fraction, it means division. So this means X divided by 5. So I have X divided by 5 minus 2 equals 7. So draw my line and look for the addition or subtraction. Right now I'm subtracting 2, and the opposite of subtracting 2 is adding 2. This makes 0, so I'm left with this X divided by 5 equals, and then 7 plus 2 is 9. Now, since this means X divided by 5, I know that the opposite of division is multiplication. So this time I'm going to multiply each side by 5, because my 5s will cancel. They make 1. 5 divided by 5 is 1. Or sorry, 5 times, it's like 5 times 1/5. So I have my X equals 9 times 5 is 45. And again, let's do a quick check. I'm going to plug that 45 back in and say 45 divided by 5 minus 2. Let's see if it's equal to 7. 45 divided by 5 is 9. And then 9 minus 2 is, in fact, 7. So my answer is good. X is 45. And let's do one more example. We have X divided by 7 plus 3 equals 10. So we're going to work backwards. I'm going to draw my line. I have a positive 3, so I'm going to subtract 3. Or I'm adding 3, so I'm going to subtract 3 to do the opposite. On the left, 3 minus 3 is 0, so I have this X divided by 7 equals 10 minus 3 is 7. Since this is X divided by 7, I'm going to multiply by 7. And I'm left with X equals 7 times 7 is 49. And again, if you weren't quite sure, you could do a quick check. See if 49 divided by 7 plus 3 is equal to 10. I know that 49 divided by 7 is 7, and then 7 plus 3 is 10. So I know that my answer of X equals 49 is correct.